I want to say this really quick. I've been sitting here just watching and just been in silence for a little while here, just listening to God. I've just been praying, and God told me to go to Ezekiel 13, and he said to speak it on live. Now, there's a reason for this. And this is very important. He says, "Son of man, prophesy concerning the prophets of Israel." And that's those who claim the covenants of God, period. "Who are prophesying, saying to those who prophesy out of their own heart, hear the word of Adonai. Hear the word of the Lord. Thus says Adonai Elohim, the Lord of hosts, woe to the foolish prophets who follow their own spirit, except they see nothing. O Israel, your prophets have been like jackals among ruins. You have not gone up to the breaches and repaired the walls for the house of Israel to stand in the day, the battle in the day of Adonai." This is what I'm going to say. And what were they doing here? They were speaking a lie of shalom and peace. They put whitewash over of the walls. It's a plaster that will crumble, that will fall apart. They make it look strong, but inside they don't see how weak and fragile and frail it is and how quickly it is about to fall. He says there will be a downpouring rain, and on you great hailstones will fall, and the storm wind will break out. Behold, when the wall has fallen, will it not be said about you, where is the whitewash that you plastered with it? Therefore, thus Adonai Elohim, I will cause a storm wind to burst out in my fury. Then will be a downpouring rain in my anger and a great hailstones and destructive wrath. That's in Revelation. I will tear down the wall that you have plastered. This is what the churches are doing. Many, I'm not saying all, but the majority are plastering with whitewash, making it look holy, making it look righteous, making it look like it's the grace of God. But he says, and they'll bring it to the ground so that the foundation of it will be exposed. The foundation, what is built upon it? Is it of God or is it of the devil? Is it of the world? Is it man's foundation or is it Yeshua, Jesus, the true foundation? Because he says it will collapse and you will be consumed within it. Then you'll know that I am Adonai. When my wrath against you, against the wall and against those who plastered it with whitewash, I'll say to you, the wall is no more. The whitewashers are no more. The prophets of Israel, of Christianity, of Judaism, whatever it is, of Messianic, who prophesy to Jerusalem and see visions of shalom for her. There's no shalom, says the declaration of Adonai. Look what he says. Before I go any further, we are not building the walls. Hardly anybody's building the walls of Israel. We have businessmen out there, but how many people are like Nehemiah, who was a businessman that looked out and only had an ambition of his own to do the will of God, to restore and build the walls of Jerusalem and the temple once again. This is very important. If anybody out there right now, and I don't care who it is saying there is no judgment or wrath coming, let them be accursed. Every single one of them. Let them be fall with the whitewashed tombs that are plastering it. Anybody saying no judgment is coming upon this nation, I am telling you, it is coming. It's not a matter of if, it's when. There is a spirit of complacency today. There's a spirit of ignorance that is just ignoring the fact of the sounding of the alarm, the trumpets blasting, the shofars that are sounding. We are turning away. We don't want to hear fear. We want to hear love, grace, peace, but it's not the peace, grace, and love of God. This is what I'm saying. It's the calm before the storm. I've been saying this over and over again, and people try to say, well, where is it? Look what he says. These people, you hope for confirmation of their word. I'm going to tell you right now. If you're looking for a confirmation, you're not seeing God right now. You're not getting alone with him. You're not getting along with him. You're not having the true peace of God. So because those that have fear in their lives, in their hearts, in their minds, or their souls, they're trying to distract themselves with entertainment or some idolatry in this world, or somebody to give them a soothing word. This person keeps Torah, so let's go to this person that keeps Torah, that is just as worldly as me, that's putting whitewash plaster over their hearts and their minds and their souls and building an artificial wall that is already cracking at the foundation. You see what I'm saying? Listen to what is being said. People's foundations are already being exposed. And when the fury of God comes upon this world, it will crash down and you will not be nowhere to go. You'll have no peace, no shalom, and you'll be at total fear. You think I'm speaking fear now? Wait until what is coming is coming. I'm watching people just walk oblivious. I walk around oblivious. Look what he says. Now you, son of man, verse 17, set your face against the daughters of your people who prophesy of their own imagination. Prophesy against them, saying, thus says Adonai Elohim, the Lord of hosts, oi to the women who sew magic charms on all their wrists and make veils of every size for all their heads. What is the veils? The veils, guys. The veils, so that people don't see what's in here and here. The women are hiding under a mask. They're hiding under a veil so that people can't see. Those without discernment are not walking in God. Look what he says. In wrist and make veils of every size for their heads in order to ensnare souls, to hunt down the souls of my people, but preserve yourselves. Look what he says, preserve yourselves. And the women are out there. I see it all across social media. As I see in the churches, people can't even dress right. They're sitting here with seductive look in their eyes, and the men are falling for these women. There's more Satanists in the church than there is out in the world. Seductively alluring the men in and captivating them. And next thing you know, sex with them. Pounce on them. Seduce them with their lying, envious spirit. Their idolatry. Seductive. It's not only that, it's their doctrines and their theologies and their beliefs, and people are bowing down to this. My friends, wake up. Wake up. Just as a proverb says, do not let a woman captivate you. Do not let her glance of her eyes captivate your heart. My friends, God is allowing this to happen until the day of his wrath. Do not be ensnared. Women, do not be ensnared by a man that is seductive or his riches. Do not be seduced by the lies of the deceiving spirits. Do not be seduced by the false prophets. Do not be seduced by those that are lying. Speak in peace and shalom. There is no peace or shalom unless you are alone with God. That's the only way. Destruction is coming. My friends, it is coming regardless of what anybody says. You have profaned me among my people for handfuls of barley and crumbs of bread. Crumbs of bread. Handfuls of barley. Look what he says in Revelation. It's there. To kill those who should not die. And to save those who should not live. Look what he's saying. Those that are sinning. You're saving those that should be dying. And you're making them live instead of speaking the true repentance and judgment and wrath and hell and catastrophe and judgment coming upon the world. And look what he's doing. They kill those who should not die. The ones truly speaking the word. That's why they're trying to keep them out. My friends, I'm here to tell you, you don't know how much pushback there has been for the congregation out here that's about to be started. I am telling you, when I tell you so much pushback has happened, I have never seen so much pushback for what is coming. I'm going to tell you. By lying to my people who listen to lies. That's what he said. Therefore, thus says Adonai Elohim, behold, I am against your magic charms. It's the deceit, guys. It's the lies. It's the seduction. That's the magic charms with which you hunt the people like birds. I will tear them from their arms. I will deliver people you hunt like birds. I will tear off your veils and deliver my people from your hands. This is why the people of God need to be speaking without compromise, my friends, without compromise whatsoever. They will never again be in your hand to be hunted. So you'll know that I am Adonai, because you have discouraged the hearts of the righteous with your lies, the righteous with the lies. So those that are barely escaping, those that are righteous, you're discouraging them, trying to tell them peace. And what these people are doing, look, this one's speaking fear. Do not listen to them, because they're already seduced in their minds by their magic charms and their veils. They're seducing you. They're in your righteousness to come to unrighteousness. Instead of repenting and truly being set free, they're captivating you and seducing you in your lies. You have to listen to what I'm saying right now. Please do not shun this. Do not shun this. Look what he's saying. When I have not grieved him and strengthened the hands of the wicked so he may not return from his wicked way and live. Look what he says. Therefore, you'll no longer see false visions or utter lying divinations again. I will deliver my people out of your hand. Then you'll know that I am Adonai. My friends, this is what's happening. Remember in Lamentations what people were doing. They were mocking. They were scoffing. They were trying to deceive people and stop the building, stop the work of God's glory, his righteousness that was happening to build the temple in the outer breaches of the walls. And this is the thing that we are doing right now. The true men and women of God are restoring that temple, that are building that wall that's been breached. They're not plastering it whitewash. It's been torn down. They're tearing it down so that God's true building and his measurements through the true stone, the true foundation, the true rock, and the true wood and true building materials that it may need to be made in order to build his holy tabernacle right now. Those people that are trying to deceive and stop the work of God, he will wipe out. There will no longer be a breath when the time comes, my friends. I'm here to tell you, he will wipe it out. There's not much longer that these people will stand, because the judgment of God is coming. And it's going to wipe out all wicked. It's going to confuse the confusion of the wicked, so that the righteous will be able to discern who is wicked and who is true. But if you are still in the captivating hearts of your deceit and your wickedness, my friends, you'll be deceived over and over and over again. He is trying to deliver you, and you must submit to God's ways and stop listening to the lies. Those that are prophesying peace and shalom. Those are saying, do not speak fear. No judgment's coming. God is with you, and he'll deliver all his people. He's with the righteous that are seeking him with all their heart, soul, and mind. Not those that are speaking shalom. My friends, there's shalom for the righteous. There's shalom and peace for those that are not listening to the lies, that there's judgment coming up. There's no judgment coming upon the world. There will be, no matter what. I'm here to tell you, if you can't see it, you're not reading your word right. If you can't see it, you're not in the presence of God. If you can't see it, you're not seeking the true God, but you're seeking self, and you made yourself a God, an idol of your image of man, into the image of God, which is seductively deceitful, as if making an image of Jesus and putting him on a cross and bowing down and worshiping it. I'm talking about the ones made with human hands that are in the Catholic churches. I'm talking about those that wear the Jesus on the cross on their neck. I'm talking, that's what you're doing when you say, I don't want to listen to that truth. I want to listen to a lie. I don't want to believe that any judgment's going to come. That's why people are aligning with political parties and other people that look like them in order to try to restore the world in some way, but they're not getting to the root and uprooting what needs to be removed and seeking God with all their heart, soul, and mind and dying to self. My friends, you must die so that he can live in you and through you. There is no other way to whitewash and plaster with the deceitfulness of lies. You can't try to coexist with sin. Coexisting with sin does not work. There's always judgment, and you'll wave that white flag at the end saying, God, I surrender, but then it may be too late. You're not promised tomorrow. What you have is today, and people are building and planning for their futures, but you don't know what is tomorrow or what the next hour will bring. So all this planning and building is lies, is vanity. My friends, now is the time to wake up. Now is the time to wake up. I'm not here to bring fear. What I'm here to do is speak the truth, uncompromised, so that you may start building the walls of God and restore the ruins within people. And then at the time when the final destruction and judgment comes of the wrath of God, then there will be a true resurrection, and everyone will seek to build that temple within each person and prepare for the coming of Yeshua, the Messiah, when he seeks all those that keep the faith. He says, will I find faith when I return? And he's asking you, each one of us, will I find faith in you? These are the questions. Boy, it is hot. The whole world's about to hear. These are the questions we have to ask ourselves. Will he find faith when he returns? It's not in the church. You're not going to find it, my friends. I'm here to tell you, you got to find that with God. It's up to you to get your own oil. It's up to you to listen to the word of God and the voice of God. But if you're lying, listening to lies and saying there is no judgment that will come because we're going to restore it. My friends, the final restoration, Revelation is clear. Babylon will be destroyed. It will crumble, and it's going to get very hard. When? I don't know. You got to be ready. It doesn't matter. Stop trying to prepare in the timeline of Revelation. The time is coming. It's going to get hard. I sat there crying the other day looking at my baby, okay? Because I realized and I seen a reflection of how innocent, and looking out at all the children in the world and how many people watch my videos and follow our ministry and other ministries. And I cried out. I said, God, my God. And it's unfortunate that it's not gonna, he's telling me time and time again, judgment will come. Okay. And I look how hard it's going to get. It's not something to be fearful of. But if you're in sin, you have everything to fear. You got to remember, death is an instant, but eternity is forever. And no matter, eternity is not an option. No matter what, you're living for eternity right now. And it's just up to you to choose, then actually wake up and realize, what am I living for? Babylon is falling. It's cracking at the roots. It's cracking at the foundation. It's about to crumble and tip over and topple on everybody's heads. The whole entire system. You got to exit the system. You got to remain in God's mercy and truth and his love and his grace. But yet you got to be bold as a lion. But yet a lion is gentle when handling her cubs. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's bold as a lion. It roars like a lion, but it's gentle when handling the cubs. If you're seeing what I'm saying right now, he's hateful, he's arrogant, he's prideful, he's mean, he's bringing fear. I don't know what you're watching. I don't know what book you're reading. This is a book of peace. No one knows the prophets. Everybody wants to read portions of the prophets, but not read it. They're going to read a verse from the prophets. My friends, I'm here to tell you, they're going to read the Torah. Churches can know Torah all day long. I'm seeing it everywhere. All these non-denominationals, all these other churches are reading from the Torah, but they don't even know what they're speaking. All over. People know the New Testament, the Old Testament, whatever, but they're not reading the prophets. Nobody wants to read it. It sounds like wrath to those who live in the world. Those that are not free and escaping the world sees it as wrath. But those who remain with God see it as grace. We don't have to lose hope, guys. All we got to do is remain in God and trusting that he's going to come return for each one of us. And this is what I'm trying to get you to do. Seek him with all your heart, soul, and mind. The days ahead, I'm telling you. It's a calm before the storm. I've been saying that, and people are like, what? It's not happening. It's not happening. Pay attention. Do not lose sight of the goal, and do not lose sight of the kingdom. You set your heart on building the kingdom every single day, restoring those walls and the breaches in the walls and building the temple. I'm telling you, you're going to be ready constantly, every single day. I love you all. God bless you. Shalom.